How y'all doing? Welcome to Weed Ministry Bible Study. I'm your host, Christopher Adams. Uh, so I already smoked like 3 blunts. It wasn't intentional. Uh, it just happened. And I'm kind of running behind on my time that I allotted for myself to do this episode 3, about Easter. Okay, about Easter. So hold up for a second. Okay. I'm gonna try to. It's a lot of information, but I'm just gonna tell you like it's a story. Okay, and then if you really care to know like the facts and like like where to look it up and like how to research it, and all of that, then you can email me Weed Ministry Bible Study at gmail.com. Yeah, Weed Ministry Bible Study at gmail.com. But yeah, so yeah, so this sermon message episode is sorry, Easter. That's what it's about. it just slipped my mind. I didn't know. Whatever. But so Easter is a tradition that is not based in Christianity. Okay, true Christianity. Easter is a tradition that was celebrated by pagans, people that worship the sun god, which is not a real god, but they believe that the sun was a god named Baal. Some Christians that listen to me may have heard it as Baal worship, but it's pronounced Baal. It means Lord in Hebrew. And so, I done had like 3 blunts. And so, like, I'm trying to stay focused, but when I had said that was in the, it was in Hebrew, it made me think about Tyler Perry, Medea movie, when she, I don't know how to say it, but when whatever the big woman, the big woman said, he brews, meaning that like the man brew the tea or something. Now that I think about it, it's not, it don't sound funny, but it's just, I got way off track. Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, so Easter is celebrated by pagans. Okay, people that believe in the other gods, basically. So, where does Easter come from? What's the origin of Easter? All right, the origin of Easter is Ashtaroth or Semiramis, or also known as Semiramis. Semiramis was the wife to Nimrod. Nimrod is spoken of in the book of Genesis. Nimrod was the king of the Babylonians. Okay, these were people that were just ruthless, like killer murderers, like barbarous type of evil people that did not serve God. Nimrod is also the same person that built his city within a waterproof tower. So he fortified his city vertically, that if God was to ever flood the earth again, that his city will be protected. All right, so this guy Nimrod that I'm talking about, and I can tell you more information about him. But anyway, the Babylonian people were led by Nimrod. Nimrod being the king of the Babylonians. Nimrod was very a murderous person. Like he was vicious and ruthless how he killed people. Like he used to cut their heads off and bring them back as trophies to his people. So I said all that to say, when he was finally murdered, killed, whatever, his enemies despised him so much that they did not want his wife, Semiramis, to be able to give him an honorable burial or a traditional or ritual type of burial. She would have to have his body and all his body parts in order to truly give him the burial that, a king deserves, per se. So she was the queen of the Babylonians. So she told the Babylonians to go and find his body. And just how he killed people, he dismembered people. He cut their bodies up. He was just a ruthless killer. So the same way he killed people, that's how he ended up being killed. He was cut, and then his whole body was just ripped into pieces. And so everybody was able to come back with some form of his body. But the only two parts of the body that they could never find was his head and also his testicles, his reproductive organs. So the reproduction represents life, which that's what it represents, but that was a big deal for them in those days, So she told the people, it became a tradition to where she was like, hey, go out and find, his testicles. And so I'm going to stop right there and introduce the eggs that you see associated with the rabbit. Okay. Now, of course, the eggs is not the same type of eggs as what we see today, but it really represents fertility. Pagans are real big on fertility. That's why that was the origin of the whole fertility concept, was because of Nimrod testicles not being discovered or found to complete his burial. So that became a huge thing. You got to understand, the Babylonian people were massive amongst the earth. Like, these were not like a little small clan in a village somewhere. And the Babylonians were a big collective body of just people without the same ideology, the same belief systems and everything. So that's how the whole reproductive thing became so serious in things that we see now. But anyway, so Semiramis was pregnant with her husband's son before he actually died, because she didn't know that she was pregnant until after he was murdered. So, but she was already pregnant, because that leads into another part dealing with Christmas, but I'm not going to talk about that because the subject is Easter. Okay. So they had a son. His name was Tammuz, because after her husband, got killed, she told the people, because she was a queen, she was like, sort of like the priestess of people, whatever. I mean, I say that right, but she told the people that their king, Nimrod, that his soul, his spirit, his essence was absorbed into the sun. And she said, and we are to praise and worship the sun, because you got to understand, in those days, they didn't have Kroger's, they didn't have ways to keep their food fresh for a very long period of time or whatever, they really depended on the sun for everything. So I say all that to say, because, and also too, she believed that he impregnated her through the sun. That's why she told the people that his soul went to the sun, because she didn't realize she was pregnant when this happened. But from her perspective at the time, she assumed that, because she said, it's recorded in pagan history, but she said that she noticed a kick in her belly when the sun rays was touching her stomach. And from her perspective, she hasn't had sex, excuse my language, but intercourse, whatever. She hasn't been intimate with her husband because he was already dead. So how can she be? How can I be pregnant? So that's what made her believe that his soul went into the sun, when in actuality she was just already pregnant by him, when she didn't know, early, probably really, really early into it. But yeah, so that's why she told the Babylonians that their king's soul went into the sun. And so, because of the ideal of knowing that, or thinking that your king is now watching over you as the sun, right? Then you don't have to worry about, vegetation and crops and good harvest, because I'm going to shine for you. I'm going to, be that light that you need, whatever. And so, when she found out that she was pregnant, she named her child Tammuz, because Tammuz means the child of vegetation, or their savior. And the reason for that was because they felt like he would not allow his son to go hungry. So anyway, I said all of that about how Tammuz came into the earth, whatever, from their perspective. His favorite animal, his favorite pet, was a rabbit, a hare. His favorite pet that he loved holding was a rabbit. You type in Tammuz, 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 Tammuz. That's the son of Nimrod. Okay, it's the son of Nimrod that was considered the Babylonian savior. You ministers, you pastors that are listening to me right now, no more excuse. I gave you a lot of information that you know that you can go back and read. You know what I was saying was true. And if you too caught up in your testimony, not testimony, if you too caught up in your social status, and you so caught up in how many members you got, or well, if I start speaking the truth about this, I'm gonna lose my members. First of all, they're not yours. They're Yahweh's. And if they turn, they're not turning from you, they're turning from him. Because Yahweh said, my sheep hear my voice and they come running. So if you truly a child of Yahweh, it doesn't matter who's speaking to you, because they just a vessel. And the spirit of the Logos, the spirit of Yahweh, the spirit of his son Yahashua, which means I am the son of Yah. You know truth when you hear truth. And you know you're hearing truth right now. You know you're hearing truth right now. Easter is a pagan custom. It has nothing to do with our Savior, Yahashua, being raised on the third day. That Easter was already taking place before Christ was even came on the scene. Easter predates Christ. So if we sit in here as Christians today, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, all these big name pastors, you mean to tell me ain't none of them told y'all that this is a pagan custom? And I love any man that's trying to do Yahweh's will, if he's truly trying to do it. If you genuinely just wasn't thinking about some stuff, you was caught up in the tradition, and you want to change how you go about doing something, cool. Cool that we supposed to do that. But to sit here, listen to what Yahweh is using to speak through me and still want to stand on the leg of, well, God knows my heart? You fooling yourself and your congregation. Any one of y'all that I called out want to prove to me that Easter is something that you're supposed to be teaching your flock, teaching your children? Last time I checked, Yahweh said, if anyone causes this child to stumble, it is better that he have a milestone tied around his neck and cast out into the deep. Meaning that don't play with my word. We are made in the image and the likeness of a God. We are made in the image and the likeness of not just a God, but Yahweh. We're made in his image and his likeness. Think about how you feel when someone disrespects you. Think about how you feel when someone takes your word and twists it. You ain't lying to nobody but yourself. Easter is a pagan custom. Always have been, always will be. Yahushua rose, yes, but it wasn't because of Easter. Easter is a pagan custom. Come out of it, Zion. If you know what Zion means, you need to understand Zion is the church of Yahweh. It's his bride. What he's saying is you've been dirty. You've been sleeping with idol gods. You need to come out of it. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of your dress all nasty and dirty, all because you want to lay with stuff that ain't for you, stuff that ain't good for you. But you want me to hold your hand at the end of time. You want me to open up my heart at the end of time, but you sleeping with idol gods. You don't even know my name. My name ain't God. My name ain't Lord. Those are just words to point to some form of a deity. How you feel somebody just call you AU? How you feel somebody say, oh, this check is for you, but it just got John Doe on it. You can't cash that. The first thing Yahweh wanted his people to know about him was in the Ten Commandments, before murder, before adultery, before lying, whatever. The first thing he wanted us to know was that he was basically human. He said, look, I am a jealous God. There should be no other gods before me. Then he goes on to tell you how he wants, you to interact with him and all that type of stuff. But the first thing he wanted to get out the way is, look, I'm a jealous God. I'm letting you know that because I'm personal. I care about you. But take the time to know my name at least. Quit calling me a Greek god by the name of Jesus, which you incorrectly say as Jesus. Did you know that? No, you don't, because your pastor ain't teaching you nothing. They just preaching. They hooping and hollering and putting on a show to keep up TV ratings, to keep up ratings in your heart, to say, oh, my pastor brought the word, but he didn't deliver the message. I got a little YouTube channel. I'm trying to, reach out there and just do what I know Yahweh wants me to do. But it's time out for this Similac ministry. It's time out for this Similac ministry. First of all, Similac is not even good for you. It's chemically made. It's put together by something that's not natural, rather than have the actual milk. We as children of Yahweh, we need to stop sipping on Similac. At least graduate to natural milk. And if you're an adult, you shouldn't be drinking milk anyway. It's only for when you're a baby. You got teeth. Teeth is for eating meat. Stop sampling. If you're going to learn. If you're going to do it. If you're a Christian, be one. Let me clean that up real quick. Christian doesn't mean everything you're doing is perfect. Christian simply means I'm trying to be Christ-like. See, Christ already paid the price. It's not our works that we are saved. He simply wants a relationship. That's all he wants. And can you at least start by knowing his name? And you at least start by stop giving so much praise and homage to a Greek god. Because guess what? Jesus, which is the correct pronunciation of Jesus. Jesus is Greek for Hail Zeus. Hail Zeus. Hail means give praise, give homage. Hail Zeus. That's what it means. But I'm going to do a episode probably in the next few 5 or 6, I don't know, whatever. But I'm going to do another episode, whatever. And I'm going to talk about excuse me. I'm going to talk about the name Jesus, which you know as Jesus. And how that's not our Messiah's name. It was a name that was given by the translators. But I'll tell you why it was given. I'm going to tell you stuff that your pastor and everybody else didn't take the time to graduate to meet. They were still stuck on Similac and milk. At best 2%. I'll talk to you guys later. This is Chris with Weed Ministry Bible Study. All right? The weed is to help you relax your mind and not think about how people feel about you so you can speak the truth. This is my hurdle to speak to y'all how I'm speaking to y'all. It's my hurdle. No bad side effects. I'm going to do a episode on this right here. This was made by Yahweh. Natural. It grows. Sun, water, boom, it's here. Healing all type of stuff that we got in our body. But yet it's illegal. Why? Find out in a later episode that I'm going to have in my season. I'll tell you why this became illegal. Truthfully, why it became illegal. Want any questions? Email me. Weed Ministry Bible Study at gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram. Weed Ministry Bible Study at gmail.com. Well, not at gmail.com. Whatever, you know what I mean. If you have one of those pastors I mentioned, and there's a lot of other pastors, TV pastors, whatever. I know it's going to be hard for you to actually speak to them. You got to probably have an appointment and it's going to be screened and all that, whatever. But if you just have to talk to one of them, just ask them to tell you about Easter. See what they tell you. I bet you that either they know and they're going to say, well, you know, that's not why we celebrate. It's not about how you feel. It's not about how you feel.